Welcome to Aspire to Lead, where we empower educators and school leaders to grow, inspire, and thrive. I'm your host, Joshua Stamper, author, speaker, and leadership coach, bringing you conversations that spark transformation, challenge the status quo in education, and equip you to make a lasting impact on your campus or in your district. For more information and resources, visit joshstamper.com as we're looking to ascend to new leadership heights together. All right, welcome back everyone to Aspire to Lead. This is a bonus series, and today our episode is going to be called Leadership Starts Before the Title. So for the next 5 days, I'm going to be dropping a 5-part series specifically for aspiring leaders. So what that means is if you are a current leader or you're not really looking to advance right now in your leadership career, this bonus series may not be for you. However, I want you to know that if this doesn't pertain to you, I'd still love for you to share it out with an inspiring leader that may be on your campus. Maybe there's a friend you know who's looking to grow or a family member who's trying to advance. This might actually be a good resource for them. We're going to be talking about something that's free that you can download today, and that may be something that's pretty life-changing in regards to their leadership journey. So if you can share this out, that'd be wonderful. And this series is really meant for aspiring leaders. So I want you to recognize the leadership experiences that you already have, identify gaps in your preparation, and take first practical steps, especially where we're at right now at the beginning of the school year with this free leadership inventory reflection, which you can find on joshstamper.com. I had the opportunity over the summer to travel all over the country. I got to speak at conferences, speak at districts, and there was kind of a thread that was going through with all these awesome folks that I was talking to, and maybe something that you experienced this summer. So I want to ask you, did a conversation happen in the last couple of months that made you start thinking differently about leadership? Maybe you had the leadership bug when you started listening to a podcast, or you participated in a PD session or conference. Maybe you read an awesome article or a blog that got you thinking through this even more. Maybe you got some feedback that inspired you to consider a role in leadership. Maybe you even jumped into a master's or principal preparation program. Maybe you watched a leader on your campus in the spring, or maybe at the beginning of the fall here, handle a difficult situation. And you thought for the first time, maybe I want to make that kind of impact someday. For me, I know summer was a big realization and something that turned from excitement to a lot of uncertainty as to, okay, now I've started to think of myself as a leader. Where on earth do I start? Let's talk about the common challenge. Aspiring leaders often have the desire, maybe they have the credentials, and definitely you all have the drive. You wouldn't be listening to this podcast if you didn't. But unfortunately, a lot of times there's no clear roadmap. There's some key points today that I want to cover that might be some common challenges and something that you are seeing right now. So for instance, you may not know which opportunities will actually help you prepare for leadership. Maybe you got super excited and you started joining every committee, volunteering for every task, taking on way too much without knowing whether it's actually going to move the needle for you in regards to your goal. Maybe you're looking around and you start to compare yourself to other aspiring leaders and you're going, man, they're further ahead, or maybe they're getting more opportunities than you. Maybe you're waiting for someone to notice all of the wonderful things that you're doing. So instead of intentionally building your leadership experiences, you're sitting back and waiting for folks to give you those opportunities. Another challenge might be that you might think that you need the title before you can begin to lead in some aspect on your campus or in your district. Now, my personal story, when I started my leadership journey, I didn't have a perfect plan. I got so excited and I went from 0 to 100 and I started volunteering for everything. I wanted every experience. I said yes to every committee, initiative, project, opportunity. I was in the front office all the time because I wanted to support my campus and my leaders. But unfortunately, while I was saying yes, I was also not really figuring out what was going to help me in my experience. I later learned that not every opportunity carries the same value. Being busy does not automatically mean that you're building the experiences, the relationships, or the stories that will help prepare you for the next role. So being the lead of the yearbook, or for myself, helping with NJHS, or being the admin on duty for a basketball game may be helpful for your campus and for your leaders. It won't exactly help you show that you can lead a campus someday. So for our message today, and if we go back to leadership begins before the title, I want to encourage you to start reflecting on these experiences. So let's look at some examples here that, as you're reflecting, might be good in regards to showing what you actually have for leadership and leading the campus. Have you served on a committee or a campus leadership team? Have you led professional learning, supporting a new teacher, or mentoring another colleague? Maybe you've solved a campus problem, led an initiative, support student behavior, attendance, interventions, or even some family or community engagement with campus. Maybe you've even gone as far as participating in a district committee, or you've done some other district work that has helped in some way. Maybe you've improved a system, a process, or a program on your campus. A lot of times when you start reflecting on all these different things, you may already have had some leadership evidence that you didn't even realize. I know for myself, there were plenty of times if I didn't write it down, I'd forget that I had even helped in that way. And so your next step is really to identify it, describe the impact that you had, and strategically choose what you need to do next. Now, maybe there was only 3 of the various things that I just helped lay out, and you're like, man, I would really like to do these other things. I want you to think about what you could move forward with as we're starting this brand new year. This is a blank canvas, and you can fill it in any way that you want. And there's probably a lot of experiences that are missing to really show that you can move into that next role. So let's talk about the free resource. It's called Leadership Inventory Reflection. And I created this specifically for anyone who is looking to move into a leadership role. And I know there's a lot of titles out there, and this is really open to anyone that is looking to enhance their leadership journey. So in the resource, you're going to have an opportunity to look back at your leadership experience, initiatives, and committees, identify which experiences really created meaningful impact. And I want to underline, highlight the meaningful impact, because I think as you're going to reflect, you're going to identify there are some things that you've done that's been really time intensive, but maybe not as impactful as you realized. The other thing is I want you to recognize your strengths and potential gaps in your leadership background. Then I want you to determine whether you are working strategically or just simply working hard. And I think that sometimes is really messy, and we are just killing ourselves, but we're not really being strategic about what we're volunteering for or the problems that we're trying to solve. Last thing is I want you to create a clear action plan for this upcoming school year for the future leadership opportunities that you may have. So let's talk through some real quick reflection questions. I want you to just pause for a moment, and you can even write this down. Hopefully you're taking notes. What leadership experiences have you already had that you may have overlooked? Second question, what committees, initiatives, and projects have you done that you're the most proud of? Third one is what changed because I was involved? This one I think a lot of people don't give enough credit to, or credit to themselves. And I want you to truly think about what was your impact when you got involved in these various things. Fourth one, what leadership skill do I need to develop that I haven't already? Next one is what experiences am I still missing as I prepare for my next role? And the last one is, am I selecting opportunities strategically, or am I simply just saying yes to everything that's asked of me? Now, this one is just the starting point. In the next 5 days, we're going to build your leadership foundation one step at a time. And so just as far as the episodes coming up, the next one's going to be more about building strategic relationships with mentors, administrators, and district leaders. The third one's going to be defining our leadership identity, values, mission, and vision. The fourth one's going to be identifying leadership experiences that we still need to gain. And the last one's going to be creating a clear action plan and deciding what support you will need for these next steps. Now, I want to invite you to a very special program that I built last year, which is the Aspire to Lead cohort. And if you're ready to stop guessing and start building a leadership plan with intention, then I really believe this cohort was created for you. The Aspire to Lead cohort was constructed for teachers, department heads, aspiring administrators, new administrators, and professionals preparing for leadership transitions. Members receive structured monthly meetings, peer accountability, resources each month, leadership assessments, and career advancement support. And so I want you first today to start with the leadership inventory reflection. As I said, it's a free download. If you head over to joshstamper.com/leadership-cohorts, and this link will be in the show notes for you. You can take an honest look at your previous experiences and begin identifying the next strategic step in your leadership journey. So, in addition to downloading this free resource, I want you to come back tomorrow as we talk about one of the biggest accelerators in your leadership growth, which is building the right relationships. The last thing is if this cohort looks like something that you want to move forward with, on joshstamper.com/leadership-cohorts that you can apply for this cohort. And I can't wait to see you tomorrow as we dig a little bit deeper in regards to building the right relationships for our leadership journey.
This podcast is a proud member of the Teach Better Podcast Network. Better today, better tomorrow, and the podcast to get you there. Explore more podcasts at www.teachbetterpodcastnetwork.com. We'll see you on the next episode.